Okay, I am excited to unmold this one. I know it looks a little bit plain, but I think when we take it out and we put the gold edges on, and it's just going to be spectacular. This was inspired by some post I saw on Instagram, and they had kind of this thing going on in the corners that reminded me of peacock feathers, and I added this just for something in the middle. And I like the little piles of gold in the corners just to spruce it up. Now, of course, the brass handles that are embedded in the resin. This mold holds 64 ounces of resin, and I probably have 32 or so. And I actually messed up the edges of the mold. Like, here's a little spot. There's some chunks taken out of the side when I heated it too much, but it didn't ruin the whole mold. It's still usable. It's just got a few little flaws, which I don't mind flaws. So I'm going to show you the underside first, just so you can see the underside, which shows more of the glass bits than it does on the other side. And it just shows kind of how the resin kind of puddled, which I kind of expected that. I wasn't expecting this to be the side. That's the bottom side. This is the top side. Now, I do have some little micro bubbles, but still, it's quite lovely. So it had a little lip around the edge because I didn't fill that mold up all the way to the brim. So anytime you're under the height of your mold, sometimes it's going to be a little raised edge, and I kind of trimmed that off, but I still like just a little bit of a raised edge. It gives me a place for my paint pen to kind of follow the ridge of and do a better job on outlining. I'm going to use, and I also will go over the products before I finish. This is Pebeo 4 Artist Marker, and it's a giant jumbo gold oil paint pen, and I'm going to use that. And then I'm just going to use a Deco Color gold paint pen just around the edge, and then use the jumbo one for the sides. And it's really cool to see the sides the way they are, but I think the gold around the edge will just really finish it off. I'm just going to start. I just want a little bridge. This is a chisel tip, so it works really well. If you accidentally mess up a little bit, if you go with alcohol right away on a paper towel, you can pretty much get it off immediately. So I always have my alcohol nearby. If you wait too long, you have to use paint thinner, which you can do. You can let it totally dry and use paint thinner to clean up any boo-boos. I like to shake every so often and just repress just to get it going, flowing really well. Okay, so there is the edges done, and I still have the sides to do, which you can totally leave, but I'm going to paint the sides as well. So it's oil paint. This takes a little bit of time to dry. You can also use the gold leafing that comes in a jar that you get on Amazon, or you can get it at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I used like a little pack I got from Amazon, a multi-pack of colored glass bits, which are all in here. And then I also used different multicolored confetti, larger chunky confetti, to get this colored effect here. See, those are glass bits and chunky confetti. And When I made the resin, the first layer, the gold, was made with a little bit, because this is more of an antique gold. This is, it says pale gold by Iridron, but it's not pale, it's really antique. And this is a much brighter gold, as you can tell. I love this stuff. This is from Deco from Amazon. It lasts forever, and it's a super bright, shiny gold. This, though, has more of a molten gold, so it goes more, looks like more of a liquid gold, whereas the other is more of a mica gold. You see a little bit more of the powders in it, but it still has so much shimmer. I love it. And then I also put a few drops of rich gold Pinata alcohol ink into that. So that was the gold, and when I put the little chunks of glass in, these are, I think, from one of the home stores, either like Home Goods or Michael's or somewhere. They're gold glass bits, but they're more of an antique gold, so I use those in the first round, mixed in with a little bit of the gold resin I had left. So that was put into the corner. Now the final coat, that was just the top coat, which was the fast set resin, I put these pieces, which are Grandeur Gold from Counterculture, and see the difference in the colors. So I went brighter because of the brass and all. I put a little bit brighter just in the corners on top of the other gold, and it has a little bit of it that comes up above the resin line, which I kind of wanted that. I wanted it to look like piles of gold, so that was what I used. Copper color was Lorez Molten Copper, and I put a couple of drops of the rich gold alcohol ink in with that. The turquoise color was Dragon Scale by, I forget whose little symbol that is. It doesn't say, but they offered all kinds of colors. It's a pigment paste and it's metallic, and so I used Dragon Scale for the turquoise, and then I added a little bit of mermaid mica from Etsy Funshine Color Shop into that, just to kind of thicken it up a bit, because I wanted to wait until my resin was at a certain time and temperature before I actually put it in, so that it wouldn't spread and just disperse totally inside of the resin. So in order to do that, you have to wait at least 25 minutes or more to add it into your clear resin. So I wanted my pigments to be pretty heavy and not float away. And they still did that a little bit on the edges, just with the heat and everything, but it's still a beautiful effect, and I'm extremely pleased with it. Okay, so that was the gold, the copper, the turquoise. The blue was All American Mica from Counterculture DIY, a beautiful, just straight on bold blue mica powder with an iridescent shimmer, and that was the blue color, which you see little bits and pieces of. Then I used Olive from Counterculture DIY, and that's that slightly olivey looking green that you just see just a little bit. It kind of got covered up by the others, but you can see bits and pieces of it. And the glass bits were blue and olive green and a copper and a gold and a turquoise color. So that's how I chose my colors, kind of inspired by a peacock. So this is the final results. If you can see how lovely the effect is. Again, it's not crystal clear. I do have some little tiny micro bubbles. And again, that's kind of the back side, just so you kind of see the actual colors a little bit better. As far as the blue, the olive, the turquoise color, the gold. So you can see that pretty effect. So I love this tray. I love it. The tray is almost 11 inches wide and 18 inches long. So it's a large tray. Really large. So this can be totally a decorative piece on a table. You could serve crackers and cheese on it, something like that. It could sit in a bedroom on a vanity with your perfumes and things sitting on it or whatever. You can use it for multiple purposes, but I am really pleased with the outcome. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it. There's the gold painted edges. You can also use the liquid gold that's in a jar. You can get it from Michael's, Hobby Lobby. You can get like an off-brand. You can get a name brand. You can find it on Amazon as well, and you can use a paintbrush and put it on, but I like using the pens. They just make it to me a little bit easier to do the piece. So there it is, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.